Welcome to the #1 U13 hockey podcast in southern New Brunswick, the Bob Pod, with your host, Dan Bobsky.
Welcome to episode 11 of the Bob Pod. This is week 4. Here's the kids coming in. Week 4, part 1. I figured we'd have enough games to put in the can from Saturday. Did you guys break something?
Broke the door down or something.
You did what?
Broke the door down or something. I don't know.
Alright. Quiet now, you're on the Bob Pad.
Oh no.
So we're going to do just the first half here.
Yep.
So the first game started Tuesday night, and then there was games Saturday night. There was an exhibition game in there as well. You're not on TV or anything. You're just waving back there. Okay, here's Nolan's, I don't know what words we're allowed to use for. This is one of Nolan's friends. His name is Chase. He doesn't play hockey.
Hi.
I'm not sure if he knows how to skate. I've offered to bring him out to the pickup games a few times.
Yeah, I really don't know how to skate.
Failed to do so.
Let's say I'm a failed child.
You do better interviewing than most, though. So you can move on.
No.
Carry on. Why don't you guys go back upstairs and play Mario Kart?
No. Never.
Okay. So the first thing I want to start off with was Tuesday, Remembrance Day. After the service, we had a good tournament out in St. Martin's under my pickup group. The Remembrance Cup, we called it, kind of a rip-off of the Veterans Cup, but they don't have our age group. Really good showing. It was a good time. We got down there, and there's such a small neutral zone that we just said forget about icings and offsides and had a great tournament. It was a lot of fun. I love how the kids managed themselves. We had no coaches on the benches. I refereed the whole thing. We have another one coming up December 6th. I know in our age group, the U13 AA, we have, I think there's 2 tournaments in the province or in the area that a lot of teams are tied up with. Hampton, there's a few of the teams that are around, so we've signed up a few kids. I think we're at about 22 kids. I'd like to put 4 teams in on December 6th and have a little bit bigger of a tournament. It's not one of those ones where you have to bring a team if you just want to bring individual players. If there's anybody that watches this that has a kid in that age group, feel free to message me and I'll sign your kid up. So basically I would prefer you to be U13 or in that spectrum of U13. But if you're interested, we have about 22 kids signed up. We have about 18 more spaces. We have goalies ready to go. So please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to get you in there. Okay, so Tuesday night after the Remembrance Cup, a lot of our kids went from St. Martin's. The KV kids had to come back. They left St. Martin's, came back out later after supper, and had a practice out there. But also Hampton and Lancaster had a hockey game that night. So 7 o'clock that night, Hampton versus Lancaster. And it's funny looking through this because almost every kid who scored or had something to do with this game was somebody that was in the Remembrance Cup. So they came in hot and ready to go. So in the first period, Lancaster scored first. Ian Moffat, again, he was at the Remembrance Cup. And he gets the assist from Tucker Godden. The second goal came at the 6-minute, 27-second mark. So making it 2-0 for Lancaster. And that was Tucker Godden from Jake Gritton. And then Lancaster scored again. So they're up 3-0 now. Hunter Calhoun from Jake Gritton and Jackson Vaughn. And Lancaster with a 4th goal. And that is Ian Moffat from Horncastle and Blackyear. So right now Lancaster's got a heavy lead here, 4-0. Hampton finally answers back with Grayson Damon with an assist from Landon Rankin. So Landon Rankin, another kid who made his way down to the Remembrance Cup there. After that, it's Lancaster again with Tucker Godden from Maddock McDonough. So 5-1 hockey game. We're into the second period, halfway through. And then Hampton comes back. Patrick Troop from Jack's Winners. Hampton makes it a 5-2 hockey game. Jack's Winners from Ellie Hatfield is the next one, and that makes it 5-3. Lancaster over Hampton. And then the last one, I've heard a few things about this. I think one of the Hampton players turned around and kind of shot it in their own net. I don't think they were too broken up about it. I think they laughed it off and it wasn't too serious of a thing. But Rowan Blackier was credited with that goal. So that made the final a 6-3 final. And that's how the Tuesday night ended between Hampton and Lancaster. So that takes us to today, which is Saturday the 15th. And we were at the Willie O'Ree Center early this morning, 11:15. It was the Edmundston Blizzards up against the Fredericton Outlanders. So the first period goes by, no goals. Second period, Edmundston scores. Maxine de Champlain from Liam Seary. And that makes it a 1-0 game. That's the only goal of the second period, so it's a 1-0 hockey game. Right into the third period, where Hudson Horncastle from Lincoln Smith ties it up, and it's a 1-1 game, and that goes right to the dying minutes as a 1-1 game. And Ethan Mannon from Weston Curry gets the game winner with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left of the game. So the Fredericton Outlanders take that one over the Edmundston Blizzards. And then we go over to Oromocto. And we have the Oromocto Eagles versus the Hampton Huskies. And this one, Hampton comes out with a 2-1 win. Neither one of these teams give me their game sheets, so you haven't joined the elite Bob Pod club yet. If you could send me your game sheets, you'll get a little bit more coverage. But the Eagles over the Hampton Huskies, and Hampton won 2-1. The goal scorers, I know from some asking around, were Jax Winners and Ryan Boyce. So that takes us to game 3, and that was our game that we just played. Nolan played quite well. It was against the undefeated Ice Dogs, who were 5-0 coming into this. So it was a weird game to a degree. There was a lot of penalties. The game sheet almost doesn't even show all the penalties I counted. But let's go through them. So the game stays scoreless, and then into the second period in the first minute, I'm just going to go through my notes here. Rhett throws it on net from the side. He's down low. He throws it in, and Luke's the goalie there. He gets a pad on it. It comes out front. Jay Cunningham jumps on it and then just bangs on it a few times. He's able to kind of push it in and get the goal. If I was the goalie, Dad, I wouldn't love that one, but it worked out. It was a legal goal. And Sussex gets the 1-0 lead again. Fairly intimidated by these Fredericton teams. They're undefeated to this point. And then Sussex, the second goal, halfway through the second, Sussex gets some zone time in the Ice Dog zone. Puck comes back to Rhett Proctor. He throws it in on the net. Emmett Tabor tips it, and Emmett gets it, and they go up 2-0. And then we get into all kinds of crazy penalties here. Like Sussex is getting called for everything. Both teams are, but I would say it was more heavily against Sussex at this point. We have 3 different 5-on-3s in this period, and we're able to weather it and get out of it. And then Jay Cunningham puts us on the board to go up 3-0. So Jay Cunningham goes in, shoots it into the crowd, and then one of them kind of gets it on their stick and tries to throw it away, but throws it right back to Jay Cunningham, who fires it right back on the net, and he gets the third goal. We go up 3-0 at that point, and I think we're into the third period at that point. So maybe it's still a little late in the second, but I was almost reading the Fredericton team their eulogy at that point, and then within that minute, Will Bowers comes down and scores. So here's my notes from that. Less than a minute later, Weston Garsh skates it into the zone. He gets held up by Rhett Proctor along the boards. Rhett's able to kind of bang the puck away from him, and it gets back. Will Bowers picks it up, and he just finds a lane towards the net. He makes this perfect little shot right over Nolan's corner, and makes the game a 3-1 hockey game. And then we get into the third period, and where I was complaining about the penalties being really hard on Sussex, starts being really hard the other way on the Ice Dogs. They get into all kinds of penalty trouble. And it's a 3-1 hockey game at this point for us. But with 5 minutes left of the third, there's a face-off in the Ice Dog zone. Jay Cunningham's on the draw. He generally doesn't do center work for us. He wins it back to Jack Merrill on the point. Jack throws it in on net. It's a loose puck. Jay comes in, finds it, and he's able to wire it home. And that's his hat trick on the game for Jay Cunningham. And again, for all of Jay's goals, it was really just him sticking with it and really not quitting on the second play, just going in and throwing it on net or just poking away or just he didn't give up. He just kept working, and for that he was rewarded 3 goals. So really goes to show you, just stick with it. Next one, Sawyer's out front, right to Parker McLaughlin. Parker McLaughlin on the doorstep, throws it in. Parker got one of those empty calorie goals last game too. Parker's good for racking on the goals late in the game. So Luke's got most of that one, and it squeezes through, and that's the end. It's a 5-1 game for Sussex. So that takes us to... Okay, this is the Saturday night game. This one I'm calling the slobber knocker at the Grant Harvey. It is KV Hawks versus the Fredericton Outlanders. And this is our main event of the evening. So it's Fredericton. Fredericton is, this game is a high-scoring game. So Fredericton in the first period, 11:37, Parker McIntosh from Connor Desjardins makes it a 1-0 game. Still in the first period, 10-10, Ethan Mannon from Luke Hatt makes it a 2-0 game. Walker Wood from Ethan Mannon makes it a 3-0 game. And then KV finally answers back. So Sam Fougier from Liam Werner makes it a 3-1 game. And then, if I can say something... So KV's on the board here, and I'm going to throw a shout out to the Cask and Kettle here, 3 locations in our area, but somebody should almost do a GoFundMe and buy some stickers for these guys because the handwriting on the game sheets is awful. So when I was trying to figure out who did what or even what the numbers beside the kids were, I would definitely suggest going for a GoFundMe. So Fredericton, second period, 14:04, Jace Blythe from Hudson Horncastle makes it a 4-1 game. KV second, 10:20, Nolan McGraw from Henry Pond and Andre Bork make it a 4-2 game. So KV comes back. It's a bit of a game still here, 4-2. Fred, second period, 8 minutes, 52 seconds, Ethan Mannon unassisted. Fredericton again, William Siddick unassisted. Now it's a 6-2 hockey game, so now it's getting a little hand at hand. KV is able to get another one. Henry Pond comes back from Nolan McGraw and Andre Bork. 6-3 hockey game. And then Fredericton in the third period, we have William Siddick from Jace Blythe. So it's 7-3. And then Jace Blythe from Hudson Horncastle, 8-3. And then Connor Desjardins from Parker McIntosh and Hugh Connolly. And that's a 9-3 final. So that game became a very high-scoring game. We're going to split this podcast into 2 pieces. We're going to do tomorrow's 3 games, I think it is. We'll add that on tomorrow. We'll do the standings tomorrow. And we'll do the upcoming schedule. Also, next week is the Ted McKnight tournament. So we'll be talking about that a little bit, what to expect. It's just four teams from the league in it. But we'll go from there. I want to give an honorable mention, too. There was an exhibition game. It was Hampton played one of the KV single A teams, and I just want to give a shout-out to Hampton to be willing to do that. Like, it's one of those no-win scenarios. You lose that game, it looks bad. So it's not a lot of teams that are willing to take on that risk. And the KV guys have so many good kids. Avery Leduc could definitely be a AA player. Goalie in there for them. Jackson Flood, Leland Drew. Corbin Bates looked wicked out there. I wouldn't watch this. Henry Bell had one of the hardest shots I've seen anybody take in our league in that game. And I'll give Sam Gilbert a shout out. He got one of the goals for Hampton. But Hampton comes away with that win. Again, really impressed with them for being willing to take that game. KV single A team looked just as good as all the AA teams were playing. I mean, our team's super even. That team could slip right in for a joke. They did really well. I was really impressed with them. good vibes at the rank. It was a fun one to watch. It was a good one to go to. Again, big kudos to Hampton for being willing to do that. I know in the past when I was trying to arrange games, it's hard. It's that fine tuning of exhibition games. You don't want to play teams you're gonna beat, and you don't want to play teams you might lose to in a situation where you look bad. So I'm really proud of Hampton for being able to take that on, and really proud of that KV team for playing as well as they did. They really gave them a good hockey game. So that will be it for part 1. This was the 11th episode of the Bob Pod. Thank you for tuning in. This is week 4, part 1. We're going to do part 2 tomorrow, which will be the next 3 games, standings, schedule, etc., etc. Thanks, everybody. Until next time.